This is Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe was a great man. I didn't know him personally, maybe he stole lollipops from kids or something. But the point is, he was a great man in a sense that he made great things that greatly influenced a great number of people. Through his works, he spawned tons of adaptations, some of them superb, some, well, not that superb. This is Roger Corman. Roger Corman is a king of trash. Through his legendary lengthy career, he directed around 55 movies, most of them regarded as not great, although not great in the best possible way. He was famous for directing on a tight schedule and even tighter budget. This is Jan Svankmajer. Jan Svankmajer is a Czech director of surreal movies for hipsters, and I think they are great. The what connects them? A story of an old house that's inhabited by a family with an old name, doomed for an unhappy ending. The same story, radically different personalities of the adapters. This is gonna be fun. The first of many Roger Corman adaptations of Poe's works, The Fall of the House of Usher, utilizes a rather simple narrative, and although it alters some details, the film follows a general story outline of the original. The hero arrives to the house, people act weird, spooky things happen, Madeline dies, Roderick flips out, Madeline lives, Madeline dies, the house falls. The main difference in terms of plot is that the main character, here named Winthrop, comes to the house because he's engaged to Madeline and wants to visit her. It makes the Winthrop character a little more interesting as he's not just a passive observer, but an active participant with a clear motivation to save Madeline. It makes the whole thing clearer and easier to follow for the viewer and creates a stronger connection with him. And that connection is important as Winthrop is our guide into the world of Usher's residence. Corman used the personal narrative of the original. Even though there is no voiceover narration, we witness almost every scene from Winthrop's perspective, and sometimes they're even placed inside his head, like in this absolutely awesome dream sequence. That was crazy! It's a nice change of pace as most of the film takes place in the cramped interiors of the house, with the camera being mostly static and blocked according to standards. We have to remember that Corman shot the film in 15 days, so it was mostly made in the studio as that was the way they could meet the schedule. Although Corman himself says that it was a conscious decision made to evoke the paranoid, oppressive atmosphere of the original story. And I have to admit, it mostly works. There are some genuinely spooky moments, and some shots are really impressive. Look at the face. The acting in this is great. The main character is insanely dull, but he has some impressive Tommy Wiseau-like bursts of overacting.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not.
But Vincent Price as Roderick Usher is the real star here. Not only does he look like he just ate a lemon before filming, but he also delivers his lines so passionately that there is no way not to be captivated by him.
Don't touch me. Where is she? Touch me!
And it's important because the main mystery is placed solely on Roderick Usher's back. Is he insane? Is the curse real? Did he kill Madeline on purpose? Why does he play on an instrument when loud sounds irritate him? Is he Jaime Lannistering Madeline's Cersei? Story is the core of this film, and the atmosphere, terror, and internal struggles of the characters are sprinkled on top of it to support it, not overshadow it. And although it destroys some of the original's vagueness, it also helps to orchestrate moments of tension, horror, and successfully engage the viewers, which is really important in movies. So, is it a successful adaptation? Sure, it's a solid film. Is it cheesy as heck? Yep, and that cheese is shockingly delicious. Speaking of shockingly delicious, Jan Svankmajer made a lot of films about eating, in which eating is shown as the most disgusting process ever. He also made an adaptation of The Usher, and, well, it's something else.
S těmi slovy zastínil patrně lampu, přistoupil chvatně k jednomu z oken a otevřel je do kořán vstříc bouři.
Surrealism at its finest, this 15-minute short is a combination of voiceover narration, real-life shots of a dilapidated house, and stop-motion animation. This is everything Svankmajer needs to present Poe's story in the visual form, and this staggering minimalism is not only a sign of the dazzling power of imagery, but also Svankmajer's personal view of Poe's works.
According to Svankmajer, the power of Poe's writing had almost nothing to do with the story and everything to do with atmosphere. He succeeds in describing the most intimate reactions of the human soul, Svankmajer explained, to that primal horror that rises up through our subconscious, for which the situations are simply a kind of explosive trigger.
What comes out is a short that's mesmerizing and at times seriously terrifying. And that's saying a lot, considering that the narration is in Czech, which, as we all know, is the most adorable language in the world.
Hodiny vytřeštěně soustředěně zíral do prázdna, jako by naslouchal nějakému pomyslnému zvuku.
The previous adaptation of Poe done by Svankmajer, The Pit, The Pendulum, and Hope, was even more vague. Without any voiceover to guide the viewer, all is left is a hypnotic collage of mysterious scenes. Fascinating stuff. Svankmajer's short films could be seen as an antithesis of Corman's way of adaptation. They almost completely disregard the plot or marginalize it to the narrator reading passages of the original story and forming a loose connection between a series of surreal images. The atmosphere is everything here, and said atmosphere is as thick as a bowl of oatmeal. It's difficult to imagine that this and this have the same origin, the passion these guys had for Poe's works. And look, I know that I'm kinda turning into Captain Obvious when I'm saying that adaptations by different people are different from each other, but that's not really the point. The point is that even though Poe's works have been in the literary canon for centuries now, being thoroughly analyzed and taken apart by countless experts, they can still be surprising. Through reinvention and remixing, products of the creativity he inspired, Poe's presence can still be felt in the modern culture. And sometimes in places least expected.
Smoke good, eat good, live good. Smoke good, eat good, live good. Smoke good, eat good, live good. Smoke good, eat good, live good, live good. I used to want to see the penitentiary way after elementary. Thought it was cool to look the judge in the face when he sentenced me. Since my uncles was institutionalized, my intuition had said I was suited for family ties. My mom is stressing, my daddy tired.